it's coming to a place in reference to your Aries person where you're just kind of like, you know, is this even going to happen anymore? I feel it's almost like a person, specifically what I'm feeling is like a cross watcher who's really, really into this Aries person to the point where you were like praying and stuff like that. Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to the Aries Bae cross watcher only reading. I am Princess India if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend and whatnot or whatever. If you're not familiar with what my cross watcher only readings are, it is a reading that I do for a person who is trying to get information or lurk on an Aries person that you may be dating or in a relationship with or what have you. But I have found from my wonderful subscribers that sometimes this resonates flip-flopped and sometimes it could not even be about relationships, you know what I'm saying? So get in where you fit in, my friends. So let's go ahead and jump into these cards. I don't know why I felt so compelled to use this particular deck. I've never used it. I literally just got it like a month or so ago. I've never used it on YouTube yet, but for some reason I wanted to use it. It's like a fairy tale deck or something. What is it? Tarot of the Divine. It's like about fairy tale characters and all that good stuff. So come through, Aries. I'm gonna see what's happening with this. So anywho, let's go ahead and hop into these cards with you and your Aries person of interest, my friend. So first card we have out is the Star in the reverse. My God, that just made me choke. Save me, Jesus. Oh my God. I'm really not trying to be dramatic, y'all. Like, I really just choked just now. Oh my Lord. And that's Aquarius energy. Ooh, okay. Well, damn. The Star in the reverse. So in a sense, in reference to this partnership, cross watcher, oh my God, you guys are feeling at present almost as if your hope with this partnership is waning. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's up with that. You're feeling as if your hope in reference to this partnership is waning. More or less that I think it's almost having hope beyond all odds, but at present it's coming to a place in reference to your Aries person where you're just kind of like, you know, is this even going to happen anymore? I feel it's almost like a person, specifically what I'm feeling is like a cross watcher who's really, really into this Aries person to the point where you were like praying and stuff like that, setting intentions and things of the sort. Then we have the Hanged Man. Ooh, Lord have mercy. And that's more Aquarius energy. I'm so sorry, y'all. And then we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. Why does the first word that come to me with that sabbatical? That's interesting. Okay, so here's the deal. With this Hanged Man card being here, it's more or less I feel there's a pause or a break in this connection with this Aries person. And it almost feels to me, if I really were to say it, I would say, and I think Aries, like a month or so, they had a reading where I said the word that nobody wants to hear anymore. But it's like a twin flamey kind of deal, because the vibration I feel with this is why this person, you cross watcher, made so much of a willing sacrifice, because it's almost as if you were following some sort of ethos in reference to this Aries person. So it kind of feels to me that despite the situation or the circumstance, what it looked like, what it felt like, of it not being ideal, it's almost like the cross watcher willingly put themselves in this very self-sacrificial position, because it was this thought of there being some sort of divine intervention in reference to this partnership, right? So it's like, say hypothetically, if the Aries person like ghosted you, or they were still in some other kind of relationship, it's like, because of this thought that this connection was so divine oriented, right, that one willingly kind of laid out on the cross and, sacrifice the connection being, together or a normal connection, knowing that because it was divinely guided, that it was going to, eventually come together, right? Like beyond what most people would say, like beyond your better judgment, because I just really feel this really deep spiritual kind of connection type of deal with this. And it's like how I'm, the way my visions be set up, it's like how I'm seeing it is almost like a person who's following this like pattern in so many words. So it's almost like a blueprint that you were following, but it's not something that's in 3D. So that says to me that it's like following something that you feel is divine oriented. However, coming into our present in the middle of November now, with the star being in the reverse, it's more or less now, it's kind of coming out of this sacrificial lamb vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like some time has passed. And even though it's like, usually I'm reading this from like the last time that I did it, which would be, the 15th of November is when the last reading would quote unquote expire, even though y'all know how time be working. That's just the time frame I put on it. But usually I'm looking at what's happened or transpired from then till now. This doesn't feel to me like this was recent. This could literally be years that this has been going on. So that's interesting. But I feel now it's kind of like so much time has passed for my cross watcher person at this point where you're starting to kind of question what this really was, who we really are. Like, is this really gonna happen? And the reason for that, more or less, with this Four of Swords in the reverse, which is why I can understand why I felt like sabbatical, because when you think about a sabbatical, it's like taking an extended, like longer than a vacation. It's like an extended respite that a person has. But I'm more or less seeing this as like the time frame between when you willingly, allow things to just go with the flow to where it is that we are presently. And it's almost as if you guys are starting to lose hope because this has not happened in the time frame. It's almost like kind of coming to and looking around and realizing it's been a year that you and this person have not communicated. That's hypothetical. But just to kind of give you a framework of what it is that I'm seeing, it's kind of like taking this stance, like holding space in an interstate, moving on with your life, and then looking up a year later and realizing you still haven't heard from this person type of deal. Now, the next card that we have is the Moon in the reverse and the Two of Wands in the reverse and the Three of Wands in the reverse. Oh my. In so many words, usually when I see, it would take me to see like the High Priestess on some stuff. Because those of you who've been with some time know how I feel about the High Priestess when it be showing up reverse and things and stuff like this, where it's just like none of your damn business. But literally the vibe I get from the Aries cards, the Two of Wands, the Moon in the reverse, and the Three of Wands, but it's really me feeling that with the Moon in the reverse, and that's Cancerian energy, BTW. It really feel like none of your damn business was going on with me. That's really the vibe that I get, like it's none of your business. Because with this Two of Wands and this Three of Wands, it's more, and I still feel this more or less coming from my cross watchers energy more than I do from the Aries person. Because with the Aries person, the vibe I get from their energy is kind of like what I feel it would be for you guys, where it's like this mysteriousness, where the only thing that my cross watcher would know is going on with this Aries person is what you would assume is going on, but you would never really know. And that's the same kind of vibe that I'm getting, because as far as with this Two of Wands in the reverse, that's more or less how it is that you guys got into this hangman position. Like when you got to this place where you saw that things between you and this person weren't going to move forward at that time in the past, meaning that, either they just stopped communication or they verbally told you like this isn't going to go anywhere. It's almost not saying that you guys weren't hurt or sad, but I feel like it's a part of you that, was following this perspective you had of the partnership is why you so easily release the person in so many words. Like kind of like that little quote that says like with a butterfly, like if you let it go and it returns and it's yours forever type of deal. But with this moon in the reverse, I feel with you guys, even with this person, it's like with them, if I were to say realistically what I feel is going on with them, I don't really feel it has anything to do with you guys per se, but to be quite honest, they're pretty much still in the same position that they were in when you left them, or when they left you, or whatever. Like, ever since you guys stopped talking, I don't really feel much has happened with them in the arena of like growth or healing or change behavior. I feel this person is still very much entrenched in their shadow aspects or projections and past traumas, false identities, conditioning, all that good stuff. They're still very much entrenched into that. So I don't feel like, and even if we looked at it like with these Wands cards, action wise in life, they haven't really moved forward much from where they've been at. You know what I'm saying? And I could even introduce this in the sense of, if this is a cross watcher person and you're still with this Aries person, and you're with this Aries person waiting for them to change, it's more or less you put up with a lot of their bad behavior of them not committing or them not really making plans for the future. And you were like, praying and trusting spirit for the person to change, but it's like still coming into present day and going forward, they would be regressing more than they're progressing, because they're still very much entrenched in the same behavior. And it could be, a person who's still connected with this person where you're starting to see that you've been waiting for a very long time. Like, some years have passed and this person is not very much different than they were a long time ago. So that's another way that I could see it. But overall, if this is a person that you're not in communication with, it's like, it's almost coming to a place where you're willing to give up on it, because it's almost like my cross watcher person is coming to a place where you're kind of waking up. And I'm not saying waking up to say that you're seeing the truth now, not that, because I feel that's a perceptive thing. So it's like, if this is someone who felt like an Aries person was like their twin flame, it's not saying that you're waking up and realizing that this person isn't that to you. Like, because I feel like that's more of a personal preference type of thing. It's just something where you guys are literally losing hope in the situation, where I think you spent many nights praying and believing and knowing that things were going to work out. You're starting to doubt what it is that you believed in the very beginning because of this time frame. But in the meantime, with this person, you guys, it's almost like, how can I say that? I don't know what you call that. I don't even know if they got a term for that. But it's kind of like, if you have like, it's a self-protection type of thing. Like, if a person or job didn't call you back, it's like you kind of make up scenarios in your head of why this person left or why the job didn't call you back. It's like, oh, well, that company, they got a quick turnaround anyway. People always be quitting, and, they probably got a toxic work environment. It's like, I feel like my cross watcher is kind of in that place trying to rationalize this. And it's kind of going back and forth between like a level of disappointment because this didn't pan out like you wanted, to getting angry at the person and saying like, I really wasn't worried about them anyway because they da-da-da-da-da. And then on the other side of that, it's kind of like still wondering, but it all comes back to the sense of not knowing. It's like, you don't really know what's going on with them. And the only thing, like I said, that I can discern from this is not telling me specifically what's going on with them, but I can tell you, however it was when y'all stopped talking, it ain't much different than that. Like, you may not know the whole story, but they ain't much different than they were. We have the Four of Wands, we have the Sun in the reverse, and the Seven of Cups. Yeah, man. So here's the deal with this. Coming to this whole connection with you guys in the past, I feel a lot of what influenced you, again, and this is going to be kind of redundant, but a lot of what influenced you before with this Hanged Man energy of where that whole like willing to sacrifice and put yourself in an uncomfortable position was with this, is because I really do feel, in a sense, with this Four of Wands, you guys wanted that harmonious stability, end all be all, family life, marry this person type of deal, you know? So it's almost like you guys being in a position to where you felt like this person was that person for you, you know? But I feel with them, this Aries person, dude, and I have to, I feel like I need to give a disclaimer. Like, if you're one of my subscribers and you are Aries, you shouldn't even be in here, first of all, because I'm not talking about y'all. But I feel with this person, they're it's like they're two-faced, and they're two-faced in the sense that, and that kind of reminds me of this Aquarius reading that I just did. With this whole 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it's like I feel like this person, you really didn't see them, and that's a lot like what I was saying for, no, not the Aquarius reading, the Pisces reading. That's a lot of what I saw in the and some people be saying with the Hangman, they be saying Cancer, they be saying Pisces with that. So I don't know if y'all got Pisces in your chart or something, but anywho, but it's like I saw that sense with them. It's like how they were projecting onto the cross watcher of them hiding something, but they were really the ones that were like hiding something. And it's not necessarily with this Aries person that they're hiding something. It's just who I believe you guys think that they were. And I can see this straight across with this Hangman to the Moon in the reverse down to the Seven of Cups. It's like, just like how I told the Pisces cross watcher that you were seeing a lot of your good qualities in this person that they never possessed in the first place. It's very similar to what the cross watcher for Aries is seeing too. It's like who you thought this person was, they really not that person. And I know that's a double negative, but it's that serious. It's almost like you wanted something with a person who isn't equipped to ever give it to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like what this person actually gave you, and this is me going straight up across in the other direction from the Four of Wands to the Moon in the reverse to the Four of Swords in the reverse, is an extended sabbatical, which means you want this, marriage and stable partnership, but you just waiting. And it's almost like you being burned out and isolated from your life. That's helped up with the Sun that's in the reverse, because the Sun in the reverse is about half-hearted happiness, something that looks really pretty on the outside, but isn't really fulfilling on the inside, and maintaining that external veneer when there's no, support of that underneath it all. You know what I'm saying? Will lead to burnout. So looking at this straight down, the star in the reverse, and this is so weird because I just realized straight down the middle, it's the Sun, the Moon, and the star. Straight down the middle of the spread, but they all in the reverse, So it's more or less with this, it's coming to a place of burnout because there's a lack thereof of vulnerability here. And the reason why there's a lack of vulnerability is because with this Moon in the reverse that this Aries person has, is the fact that they aren't even open and vulnerable with themselves. So there was no movement forward with this Three of Wands in the reverse and the Two of Wands in the reverse, because this person is still very much stuck in their old self. So you can't build a stable foundation in the future with someone who's still very much living in their past. So it ends up becoming a one-sided relationship that's built solely on illusions that are projected into the future with the Seven of Cups. It's like it's thinking about what could be in the future, but the only way we can really fantasize about the future is if we're doing something in the present to get there. But with the Four Swords in the reverse, that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? So what it's looking like for me, cross watcher, the whole premise of this, like this place you guys are coming to, is almost like waking up to yourself. And it's more or less being practical and rational about this. And I think that's the thing that with situations such as this, and y'all know this, I mean, not everybody, because I have a lot of new subscribers. Welcome, new subscribers, by the way. Those of you guys who know my book that I'm putting out again in 2021, because it's not available on Amazon anymore, but the book MF Twin Flames, I talk about a lot of this in that book. It's like, and I mean, the title is the title because marketing, but there's so many deep concepts that are in that book that are speaking to a situation such as this, where, it's this thought of this, this very savior-like complex of sacrificing oneself for an ultimate gain. But I feel the thing that's missing in situations like this is critical thinking skills. It's like, granted, as a spiritual person, my entire life revolves around my spiritual being, my spiritual belief system. But then on the other side of things, you have to, like, we're still human. We're 100% human and we're 100% spirit. You know what I'm saying? So there's laws and there's order to things. So there's a level of practicality that one has to have, even being a spiritual person. Because, and I'm sorry that I'm doing a little mini TED talk here, but even in my own belief system, it's like, to me, spirituality and science explain each other. It's not just choosing one over the other. If something is truly of spirit, it's gonna make sense scientifically. Even miracles can be explained scientifically. You know what I'm saying? Even down to Reiki. There's case studies on Reiki. There's case studies on tarot. Any spiritual discipline that you can think of, there's a case study out there in a medical journal in reference to it. And a lot of them are, in support of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that there's this whole conflict or something between science and spirituality. You know what I'm saying? There isn't one. It doesn't exist. Like, don't believe the hype. You know what I'm saying? So I say all of that to say that in order to, when you're believing stuff like this, there has to be an element of it that's manifesting in reality. If you're wanting to build a stable home and a marriage with someone, you and the person have to actually, and I'm saying this big picture, like, you actually have to meet the person in real life, talk to them, date them, get to know them, be in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And start making steps towards that. If none of that is happening, then that puts you in the 7 of Cups energy, because it's fantasizing based solely on emotion, but nothing tangible. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that you and this person don't have a connection. It's not to say that you wouldn't be together, but it's just more or less, you know what I'm saying? There has to be a seed put into the ground in order for a tree to grow, And it has to be a thought of how much you're willing to sacrifice. Now, granted, if the star wasn't in the reverse here, even if the sun card wasn't in the reverse here, it's like, maybe you would still be in this hangman energy where you're willing to, sit and wait, and you still have hope for the future. But the thing is I see that presently in the middle of this month, you guys' hope is starting to wane, and there's different philosophies on this, but I mean, there's some, because it's like, I did a lot of research for this book. There's some philosophies that say that despite you being unhappy, despite there being 10 years and you haven't heard from this person, you're still supposed to think positive and have hope. Like, don't think negative, because all of those vibrational energies, the person could have been about to come back, but you have one negative thought and that's going to make them disappear for another 10 years when they were like right about to pull up at your house type of stuff. And it's like, no, that's kind of not how that works. But I mean, it depends on what ethos of this that you're believing in. But the thing I can tell you for sure with this person, it's like, they're not much different than what they were. So the fact of the matter is, if we were to backtrack this for a year, right? And if this vibration this person is in, if they were in this vibration a year ago, and who they were a year ago got you to where you are now, right? Psychologically speaking, if past behavior is the best predictor for future behavior, and this person has not changed, then if where they were a year ago got you to where you are now, if we were to project this for another year, what do you think it's going to look like? Right? So this stasis does not change until an element within this stasis changes, right? So if this person is still the same, the dynamics will still be the same. So it would require them to do something different in order for these dynamics to be different. And what it's looking like for them, even with their energy moving forward, they're regressing more than they are progressing, And it's burning you out because it's still a one-sided situation and you aren't being fulfilled, right? And we can still throw in there and say, oh, you know, you're supposed to be healing. The whole premise of this is healing and so on and so forth. But truth be told, how can a person heal when you still have one foot in your past? It's like you can't really truly move on. And that's what I see with this Four of Swords here. It's like you can't really get to solid, stable ground, like in your mind or in your life, because you keep looking backwards because you're still holding space for this person in your life. So you can't ever really move on, you know? Man, there's a lot going on here. But yeah, dude, it's one of those things where, like I always tell y'all, I would never tell you what to do. I would never tell you to not believe what you believe, and that isn't my intention. To tell you that what you believe in isn't correct, that's not my intention. But it's just the way that it's looking now. You guys are coming to a realization, and it's more or less you need to work through that realization, because I feel whatever clarity is coming to you guys, it's not called doubt. You know, it almost feels like a cognitive dissonance. I feel like you guys would be going through, because there's a new belief system that's trying to come in. There's a new clarity that's trying to come in, and it's fighting with this old clarity that you had, you know, or even demonizing new clarity that's coming in, because it literally can be spirit trying to tell you something. And it's like calling this new inspiration that's coming in like, oh, that's just doubt, or, you know, the devil, or whatever it is that you believe. That's low vibrational energy. Nah, it's not. It's something that's trying to give you a sense of clarity to help you with moving forward, you know, but it's up to you guys what you choose to do with that, my friends. However, I'm going over to Vimeo, Patreon, my website, and YouTube members to do you guys extended. You know what I'm saying? So if you're about that life, follow me over there. We're going to be looking at how this Aries person thinks and feels about you. So if you care, follow me over there. But if not, I love your face, and I'll see you guys sooner than later, my friends.